What's up, Shan? Thanks for coming in, man. Thank you. Like and subscribe, everybody. I had a really big day yesterday, fitness-wise. So today I want to spend some time, a lot of time, with mobility, keeping my legs and back loose, just some movement stuff, and then I'll do a little bit of weightlifting. I think I'm going to do some explosive press, and then a couple of things for my back. So it'll be mostly light today. Yeah. Let me pin that real quick. Boom. Stretch out my hips, my low back. gonna switch the camera here. I'm gonna do some shrimping. If you know anything about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, shrimping is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 101, how to get up. If someone's on top of you or holding you down, you're on your back. You want to push off one leg, so one leg's up. I push off on my left side, post with my left hand, and then I can get up from there. They call it a shrimp. It's a really good oblique workout. I've never competed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, though I've trained it a decent amount. I had a good year and a half where I did it multiple times a week, and then have dabbled in it on the other side of that. So, but no, never had a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match or anything. I did wrestle a little bit in high school though. And I've done a lot of martial arts in my life, just not particularly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I never became a professional fighter or anything like that. But I've done a lot of boxing, decent amount of kickboxing, some Filipino martial arts, some grappling like BJJ and wrestling. Took a couple Sambo classes even. So. Receipts. I can touch the ground with my with my hands in a hamstring stretch. In case you guys want to see if my knees are bent, they are not. Here's a pretty fun hip and ab workout, warm up, depending on how you want to use it. It's pretty fun. Really loosens up the hips and glutes. I'm gonna do some bird dogs. My left leg's off the ground. My right hand is off the ground. Switch it up. Lock in, lock the abs. Yeah, for sure. I agree, Sham. I think it's both like it's like a nice, it's a catchy hook for my channel, but also kind of maybe not encompassing enough either, because, you know, most people who are trying to get in shape, you know, they just want to look better, something like that. They're gonna gravitate towards the burpees and the push-ups and the pull-ups. Those are all buzzwords for them. When you start saying like primal flow or body movement or functional fitness, that hits some people, but also alienates others. So. Walk it out. 1, 2, 3. Good stretch. Walk it out. Half, full. Stretch. Stretch. Walk it out. That's a really good one to wake up the body. All right, Shan, appreciate you supporting, brother. I'm just gonna keep up with the flow. Check back in with a live if you want some interesting warm-ups or body moves, primal flows. Peace. Peace out. Back bends on deck. feels good. What's up, Impact? What's up? Thanks for stopping by, man. We're just getting after it on a rainy day. Moving the body, trying to be functional. I had a big day yesterday for my lower body, so I want to take it a little easy on the lower body. Just do some mobility, and I'll do a couple of things for my upper body. Thanks for the like. Felt great. All right, guys, here's a good one for hip mobility, if that is interesting to you. Take your foam roller. Mine goes just below my hip. Actually, let's do it here. Get into hip flexion. And then hip extension laterally. Touch the toe if you can. Don't let it drop all the way. And back over. See how I'm staying controlled? I'm not letting my foot rest per se on the ground. I'm just kind of making slight contact with the ground. Just so I know when to go back into flexion. Come back into extension. Back in. And switch sides. That's a really good one. And because you're remaining controlled in this top position the whole time, not only are abs working, not only are hip flexors working, but the anchor leg glute is on fire, let me tell you. 2, touch the ground, back into flexion. A good controlled articular rotation, as they say. We'll go one more. This glute is ablaze. And there we go. So if you ever need like something kind of dynamic to warm up, especially whatever you're warming up for involves a lot of hip explosivity or rotation or trunk rotation, which most sports require both of those, that's a good one to do. Let's go, Vince. You know what's up. Athletes know what's up. Now, sticking with the hip flexors, we took them through the outside rotation. Now I'm going to take them all the way into the top of flexion in a kind of powerful way, explosive way. So just like you're going to run over a hurdle, you're going to throw one leg up and try to get the knee high, try to get the abs activated. Woo! 15, switch it up. Yeah. Gets the heart going, gets the hip flexors loose. Oh, I'm at home, bro. I'm in Memphis, though I do have to be in Missouri tomorrow for another gig, but it's on the southern part of Missouri, close to Memphis, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let me show you a variation of that exercise I was just doing. I have to find a band real quick. All right, check this one out, Vince. This is a little bit heavier band. Use whatever you gotta use. I usually probably wouldn't go this much resistance, but I didn't bring my own bands today. You're just gonna wrap this around one of your feet and then step on the other one. So same motion as before, but now we have resistance coming up to flexion and we have a force increasing our eccentric on the way back down, which forces the balls of your feet to make a stronger contact with the ground, thus recoiling faster. So it looks like this. Woo! A little resistance really cooks the hamstrings. And by the way, I have my Waterloo lemon sparkling water. Yeah, Vince, definitely. I don't know that I've seen too many athletes who aren't track and field doing those specific ones, although I have seen some fighters doing them. Yeah, definitely, especially for sprinting, you know, you gotta have strong hip flexors to drive those knees up. So those do that. I'm gonna do a couple of things to work on my ankle flexion. So, you know, you understand running. As your top knee's coming up into flexion, your anchor leg has to be extended in extension in order to drive off and then swing into flexion. So I'm gonna do a drill that works that. Let me know what you think. I gotta get a block over here real quick and put a shoe on too so I don't slip. So I'm going to use this block. It's probably, I don't know, 6 inches maybe. Yeah, Vince, as you probably gathered from my description of my channel, I'm very into being athletic. You know, I'm not just trying to look good or be healthy. Like, I want to be athletic. I want to perform in day-to-day life and in sports explosively and athletically. And these are some of the things I like to do for that. You know? I don't know. Anyway, check this one out. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say, regarding track and field, I was always very interested in the heptathlon and the decathlon, because to me, you know, they weren't specialists in any one event. They were the true athletes. They had to have a little or a lot of different disciplines and physical attributes. So, you know, running distance, but also running fast, jumping, coordinating, reacting, all these things. So, from a track and field perspective, that's where I kind of gravitate to. Anyway, let's check this out. So you're just going to gather a step, and then the final step on the plank, you then drive up all the way into your tiptoes. That's 4. Switch it up. All right. 4 piece. So yeah, like I said, those are really good. For me, I like to train them, I should say, because the foot that is landing finally on the block, you have to work really hard to flex all the way at the top. So all of the force is really, you're teaching your body to distribute it all the way to the toes and not cheating it, not landing a little flat-footed. Or a lot of people with poor ankle mobility won't feel like their central nervous system trusts that position, so then they're losing speed. So this helps your central nervous system train that, get used to flexion, get used to pushing off at the bottom really hard. I'm gonna do one more set of that. And then there's also the falling component at the end, where your lead leg actually drops further because of the block. So you then have to absorb more force on the way down too. Flex, boom, see that? Flex, bam. Boom, boom. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's also one of the benefits to recording these workouts is feedback and seeing your form. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get across on this channel, you know. A little education, but a lot of things that you can implement. And then if people, you know, want more education or ask questions, then I can answer them, hopefully. Okay. I'm gonna do some dead hangs and what I like to call ballistic hangs. I don't know if you know what that is, but I kind of made the term up. Do I say that? I'm not saying I made this workout up. I don't know the name for it. So I'll start with dead hangs and then I'll show you the ballistic hangs. These bars are slippery. All right, so that's a dead hang, as you know. Ballistic hang, I'll give myself like 30 seconds and I'll show you the ballistic hang. I'll probably show you the ballistic hang first, and then I'll kind of explain kind of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So assume the dead hang position, but instead of squeezing through the bar and letting everything else relax, I'm gonna activate my scapula and activate my glutes. So my legs are pretty locked in, and then I'm gonna force my lower body forward, which will force my upper body to gyrate forward as well. And then that will kick my legs backwards. And then I've got to lock them in place. So what that looks like is, so it's an ab and glute workout along with the arms. What it looks like is this. So dead hang. So all of that lower body movement goes right to my glutes, man. They're locking out to try to keep me from swinging too much so that I can then summon the energy to flail myself forward again, which is when the abs start to work. And then of course, all of that flailing about makes your forearms and grip really tired. So it's like you're getting a three-way kind of punch. And this will make your tendons super bulletproof, man. They'll be super ballistic, as I like to say. Just ready for force, ready to absorb things in different directions. And it is exhausting. I'll do one more. Dead hang. Abs are tight. Glutes are working. I almost do it to the point of where my forearms start to give out, but anyway, that's enough for that one. It's kind of like, you know those instability balls? I don't know if I'm using that term correctly. Those like half sphere blue workout tools that people use to stand on and like it disrupts their balance. Doing those ballistic hangs is almost the same as that for your shoulder and hands instead of for your ankles and hips and legs. Yeah, the Bosu ball, I guess. Yeah. So that's why I really like those ballistic ones. Like instead of the example would be like, oh, I jump on the booster ball and I'm bouncing. That's kind of the opposite, where you're almost trying to shake your hands free from the bar. Let me put this away real quick. This next one, this has got to be like my favorite in terms of spine health and maybe ab activation. Let me show you. So I have a 5 kilogram barbell here. These first ones are called figure eights. So basically I'm going to use the barbell to kind of take me through all the ranges of motion that my hips and spine are capable of. So we have the frontal plane, like a Jefferson curl. We're going to go back flexion, almost like I'm going to do a back bend. And then we have the lateral flexion, some side bends, and then kind of like the rotational, bringing all that together. So this feels really great on the abs, really great on the spine. Check it out. Show it to you from this side.